According to the complaint, Dugan ordered the agents to go to the chief judge's office. With the agents gone from the hallway, Eduardo Flores-Ruiz and his attorney exit into the hallway through a different door.
We have an update on that illegal immigrant. Remember, this is Judge Hannah Dugan. She's the Wisconsin judge that was arrested by the FBI for helping an illegal immigrant walk out the back door and evade ICE.
Friday, Eduardo Flores-Ruiz signed this plea deal agreeing to deportation after serving prison time for returning to the country illegally.
That's right. Judge Hannah Dugan was arrested over an illegal immigrant who pled guilty to his charges. So in this video, we're going to go over some new updates involving the Judge Hannah Dugan case. We've been following this case very closely. Now, before we start the video, make sure to please like the video. As you guys can see in the last time we talked about Judge Hannah Dugan, when you guys like the video, it helps others see the videos as well. It's a massive help, and thank you so much. I couldn't do it without you guys.
Friday, Eduardo Flores-Ruiz signed this plea deal agreeing to deportation after serving prison time for returning to the country illegally. Records show he came into the U.S. illegally January 15, 2013 in Arizona and was deported the following day. He did not show up on the federal radar until this past March when Milwaukee police arrested him in a domestic violence case in a dispute with his roommates. His fingerprints set off an alert in a federal database from his previous deportation. ICE officials signed a federal arrest warrant April 17th. And then agents showed up to Milwaukee County Courthouse the following day.
Okay, so I don't think people realize the illegal immigrant that Judge Hannah Dugan got arrested over had quite the extensive record. He left the country, came back in, we lost track of him, and then he was arrested in 2025, and this is when all of this goes down.
According to the complaint, Dugan ordered the agents to go to the chief judge's office. Video shows her pointing them through a double door. She then turns back to speak with other agents further down the hall and orders them through the doors as well. Shortly after that, with the agents gone from the hallway, Eduardo Flores-Ruiz and his attorney exit into the hallway through a different door.
Now, I just want to point this out. Keep in mind that Judge Hannah Dugan would have had access to all of these records as well, and this is why the FBI arrested Judge Hannah Dugan. They're accusing her of knowing about Eduardo's past and records, so she tried to move everybody out of the hallway and have Eduardo sneak out the back door, but ultimately he was arrested.
Herself facing federal obstruction charges, accused of helping him evade ICE agents. The maximum prison sentence for Flores-Ruiz in his immigration case is 2 years. He's agreeing to deportation after serving that sentence. It's unclear when he will learn that sentence. He is due back in federal court, August 4th.
Now, if you haven't already, make sure to please subscribe to my channel. We've been covering this case since day one, and I want to make sure to keep updating you guys whenever new information comes out. So make sure to please subscribe to my channel to follow this case and others. Now, something else I want to point out about Eduardo, he's done. The case is over. He's found guilty and he will be deported. However, if Judge Hannah Dugan is found not guilty, we'll get to that in a second, it doesn't affect Eduardo. No matter what, he's done, he's going to prison, and he will be deported.
All right. What penalties could this judge face if she's found guilty?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. She's looking at up to 6 years in prison and a $350,000 fine if she is convicted.
Now, if you've been following this case in my channel, you would know that the federal judge overlooking this case doesn't know what to do. In fact, we don't even have a court date for Judge Hannah Dugan because we are in a gridlock and a standstill. Basically, Judge Hannah Dugan's defense team is arguing Judge Hannah Dugan was doing her job as a judge.
Her defense team is arguing this case should be dropped altogether because they claim she has judicial immunity for her official acts, which they argue includes removing anyone from her courtroom who could disrupt it. And while they cite the Supreme Court's ruling last year in the presidential immunity case against then former President Trump, Jonathan Turley and other legal experts question how far those immunity claims can actually go.
Okay, so basically it's been about 7 to 8 days from the last time the federal judge has made a comment on this case. And by the way, the federal judge has no other court cases to reference because we've never seen anything like this before. The federal judge is really trying to figure out, is there a difference between the hallway of a courthouse and the courtroom inside of the courthouse? Because Judge Hannah Dugan does have the right as a judge to facilitate anything anything inside of the courtroom. But once you leave that courtroom into the hallway, this is where all of these arguments are trying to pinpoint whether or not Judge Hannah Dugan was actually doing her job.
Federal felony count of obstruction and a misdemeanor count of concealing a person to prevent an arrest. Judges do have judicial immunity for things that they do and decisions that they make in the courtroom, but does that extend to secreting an illegal alien who ICE wants to deport out the back door so that they can get away?
Yeah, not just an illegal alien, John, a terrorist. That's the purpose of the designation of cartels as and that as terrorists. It's mind-boggling why any American would want to harbor a terrorist inside the United States, much less a judge.
Now, I've been doing a ton of research on this case. I follow it every single day looking for updates. One thing I can't find is that anybody thinks that Judge Hannah Dugan will actually go to prison if she is found guilty. We haven't gotten to that step yet, but I thought you'd find it interesting. There are people who are saying she can go to prison for 6 years and you have a $300,000 fine. In my personal opinion, a lot of that is just for the titles and for the clicks. However, I can't find any professionals who really think that Judge Hannah Dugan is going to face these max penalties.
Have you had any other interactions with ICE agents or federal officials since the arrest of Judge Dugan?
I will say that I'm in conversation with Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement officials recently, last week.
Milwaukee County Chief Judge Carl Ashley in a taping Wednesday for Upfront, revealing those ongoing conversations following the arrest of Judge Hannah Dugan.
Now, I think you'll find this rather interesting. This is another Milwaukee judge from Wisconsin, and you'll see he makes a distinction between the courtroom and the hallway, and even he's trying to figure out if a judge is actually allowed to be in a public hallway and tell people what to do, especially other federal agents.
There is an effort to try to realize how they can do their work and how we can do ours. And so this is an ongoing discussion, and I hope to, based on some recent events and also some clarity from other aspects of policies, that we're able to come up with something that's going to be supportive of what we have to do as judicial officers in Milwaukee County.
Ashley says he wants a clear new policy in place and is talking with not only federal agents, but other judges and community partners.
We want to be able to handle our proceedings. We don't want our proceedings to be interrupted, to be interfered with. We also understand that in the public hallways, that's a different issue.
Based on these conversations, do you think the arrest could have been prevented?
Well, that's $1 million question there, Matt.
So what I find really interesting is that you have a colleague of Judge Hannah Dugan literally saying when it comes to our protocols, it's not as black and white, and we don't want other judges to get arrested. So I do want to point out that is a good thing that there is an awareness that we need to fix something, and we want to work with these federal agents. However, on the flip side, you still have over 150 judges who made a recommendation to the Judge Hannah Dugan case that Judge Hannah Dugan was doing her job and she shouldn't be charged. So as you can see, you have some judges saying, no, Judge Hannah Dugan was doing her job. On the flip side, you have her colleague saying, I think she was doing her job. I'm not sure. We don't even know what the full policies are.
With her legal team assembled,
we have been working this case nonstop. We're ready to go to trial.
Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan now has a longer wait for her day in court. It was April 18th. The feds say this video captures the moment Judge Dugan approached immigration agents outside her own courtroom. She's seen directing them to the chief judge's office. As the agents walk away, a different angle shows this man, Eduardo Flores-Ruiz, an undocumented Mexican national, leaving Dugan's courtroom. The feds claim the judge escorted Flores-Ruiz out a private jury door to help him evade arrest. A week later, federal agents charged Judge Dugan with obstructing a federal investigation, arresting her at the courthouse.
So basically, when it comes to new updates about this case, the federal judge who's overlooking this case is clearly taking a long time, and I don't think he wants to be the judge who's responsible for changing the course of history in the United States. Because if Judge Hannah Dugan is cleared of all charges and the court case has been dismissed, any other judge who does the exact same thing Judge Hannah Dugan did, they will also be dismissed, because now anything that happens in a public hallway belongs to the judge's jurisdiction.
So how much leeway do judges have to personally circumvent the law when they disagree with it?
Well, they have no leeway to break the law. Judges are held to the same standard that any other American is. I think what's particularly disturbing about this case is, to your point, judges take a sacred, solemn oath to uphold the law. And what this new video shows is apparently the judge engaging in a scheme to frustrate the execution of the law, to obstruct ICE agents from executing this warrant. So she may be a judge, but based on what we've seen on the video, she was acting in a very unjudicial capacity in that she was trying to thwart execution of, rather than uphold the law of the United States.
What about
all of the support we're hearing for Judge Hannah Dugan, again, is mostly coming from judges who made documentation to submit to the court in favor of Judge Hannah Dugan and judges around the United States as far as what their abilities are for a judge, in favor of Judge Hannah Dugan. But as far as any political figures, it's pretty much crickets. We're not hearing about any senators or governors or anybody else. It's really silent when it comes to the support of Judge Hannah Dugan.
Counter argument that I guess this is all new, right? These policies, sending ICE agents to the courthouses, everybody's sort of getting used to it, and no real protocols have been established yet for how anyone is supposed to handle any of that stuff. Does that carry any water?
I don't think it will carry a lot of water here. Judges may personally disagree with presidential policies. They may not like the way that the law is being carried out. They may not like these new policies, but that doesn't give them an excuse to try to thwart and obstruct federal agents from doing their jobs. Judges certainly can write opinions and express views of the law that are at odds with what the president says, but they can't take the law into their own hands. And just as a judge couldn't claim that they're judicially immune if they went out and robbed a bank, judges can't say that they're judicially immune if they do something that's outside of the role of being a judge, such as trying to help someone escape the clutches of federal agents who are just trying to enforce the law.
And like we talked about before, from a judge literally in the area of Judge Hannah Dugan, the judges are complaining we actually don't even have the proper policies. But I also want to point this out. Outside of Wisconsin, throughout the rest of the United States, mostly in sanctuary cities, right now public hallways are highly contested. Very recently, we just had a politician from New York City arrested for obstructing agents, and on my channel, I have highlighted how many people have been arrested for obstructing agents. It doesn't matter who you are. Even if you are a judge, the Trump administration is identifying every hallway in a courthouse as a public hallway.
So here's from the judge's filing. She wants the case to be thrown out, dismissed, May 14th. This is what her lawyers write. The government's prosecution of Judge Dugan is virtually unprecedented, entirely unconstitutional. It violates the 10th Amendment and fundamental principles of federalism and comity reflected in that amendment and in the very structure of the U.S. Constitution.
Well, I think those arguments would be a lot stronger if what the judge was being prosecuted for was actually applying the law, deciding a case, writing an opinion, functioning as a judge. But here, she clearly wasn't. She went out into the hallway, but based on what we see in the video, it appears that she tried to send the federal agents down the hallway so that then she could help this individual escape the courthouse, resulting in that extraordinary scene we saw of the ICE agents pursuing this fugitive down the streets of Milwaukee. That's not what a judge is supposed to do. That doesn't fall within the sphere of faithful execution and implementation of the laws. This was a judge who apparently stepped outside her judicial role to basically frustrate and obstruct policies with which she disagreed.
Okay, so let's break this all down. First things first, the illegal immigrant who eventually got arrested because of the incident in that hallway, he is now guilty or pleading guilty. He will be put in prison for 2 years and he will be deported. But again, I want to make it clear, This is a distinction from the Judge Hannah Dugan case. It just happens to be connected because Judge Hannah Dugan was arrested because of him. Number 2, Judge Hannah Dugan's case is very, very crucial to the history of the United States and to the success of the Trump administration. If Judge Hannah Dugan's case is dropped, that means that every single judge in the United States, doesn't matter who you are, they can facilitate what's happening in a public hallway. But I also want to make this clear. It's not only about illegal immigrants and helping out illegal immigrants in the public hallway. This means that if a judge knows somebody in the hallway and they might have favor with him, this means a judge can also move people out of the hallway and do the exact same thing for an American citizen. So there's a lot at stake as far as allowing for a judge's power to go outside of the courtroom into the hallway, because hallways have always been public areas. So keep that in mind. And I also want to say this. If the Judge Hannah Dugan case actually goes to the official court case, this means that Judge Hannah Dugan is most likely about to be in some big trouble, because this also means that the federal judge who's overseeing this case is saying, Judge Hannah Dugan, you were not doing your job. This is why we are now in the federal case, or the criminal case. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to please like and subscribe so I can keep updating you guys on all of the new and relevant updates. You guys have been so awesome in supporting me and my channel and this journey with the Judge Hannah Dugan case. I am so thankful for all of you. God bless, and we'll see you all later.